Pato freaking Award is your winner here at Barber Motorsports Park. Spoiler alert. Wow, it wasn't Renus. It wasn't Renus. You know, that's just typical of IndyCar racing, right? You think someone's going to win, they dominate the race, and then they don't win. But, yeah, man, what a drive from Pato Award. And now he's almost got the People Ready challenge, or at least he's almost won on each type of track. I think he's still got to win this year on an oval and a road course, but he could do that in the month of May, or a street course. He can still do that. Is Detroit in the month of May? I can't remember. And that is the thing, too. It's May 1st, and I'm in Alabama. And this just it's not vibing. It's not gelling. I feel weird. I should be at Indianapolis right now and not in Birmingham, Alabama. But we've got plenty of coverage coming from Indianapolis for the rest of the month. Let's talk about Barber, shall we? It looked like it was going to be a boring race at the start, and then it wasn't. I have to say that the varying strategies really helped this race. I was a bit worried because the drivers all kind of seemed to indicate, we're not going to pass. And I think I even alluded to it in an earlier video this weekend that generally speaking, when the drivers say, well, we're not going to pass, it doesn't necessarily mean that is the absolute hard and fast truth. It was that way for the front of the field. Certainly looking at Renus VK dominating the race, but ultimately it was a slow in-lap, out-lap, and I guess pit stop, lost some time, and ultimately what happened was Pato Award came around, made the pass, which was for the win around Renus VK, and then Alex Palou, who is the defending winner of this race, also got around Renus VK, and that was ultimately the conclusion of the race, was just that one moment in traffic. But through the rest of the field, I thought it was a really pretty spectacular race, and certainly aided by folks like Colton Herta, who was on the three-stop strategy, was put to the back of the field, came all the way through it, and then unfortunately did the Colton thing, which is he spun out. This time, thankfully, it didn't take him out of the race, and he ultimately still had a good finish. But I think the thing that everybody's going to be talking about, and unfortunately it's beef that NBC was able to cook up and not me this time, but Graham Rahal and Romain Grosjean. Grosjean was a pinball all day. I think he hit at least 3 guys that I can name. It was Joseph Newgarden. He ran into Simon Pagenaud, and he ran into, of course, Graham Rahal. And Graham had some pretty funny comments that I thought were hilarious in terms of talking about Grosjean's reputation. And I certainly think that Grosjean's really, I think he hit Herta too at one point, didn't he? So he was all over the place. Grosjean was really, really trying hard, we'll put it that way, because I do think he's feeling a little bit of the pressure. Hey, look, man, you're in a car that can win the race. Why aren't you winning? And we'll have to see throughout the month of May. I think you look, especially when we're talking about Grosjean at the Indy GP, I think that also applies to Renus VK. He was so strong in the GP last year. Again, I think he's going to have that kind of pressure on the natural terrain road courses to perform, because as we saw, Cal Milot was a great example of this. A European guy finally getting on a European-style road course, and he's quick. I think there's something to that. Let's talk about the results, shall we? Let's take a look at how they finished. Of course, Pato Award winning, leading the final portion of the race over Alex Palou, the defending winner, and ultimately he's the points leader for the season thus far. Consistency has been the key for Palou this season. Renus VK, the pole sitter, ultimately rounding out that top 3. Will Power, I got to give a massive, massive shout out to Will Power. That was one of the best drives I've ever seen from him. Really, really well done to get to 4th. Scott Dixon, if he would just qualify better, he would win every race, because it feels like I talk about, well, Scott Dixon wasn't very good at qualifying, and then he shows up and gets a 5th like he did today. Scott McLaughlin, his car was about 3 wide at one point, all by himself, just trying to defend from the chasing horde at the back end of the race. But ultimately, McLaughlin finished 6th. Romain Grosjean, the Boulder King, I suppose we could say, in 7th, just bowling everybody out of the way. Graham Rahal in 8th. Alexander Rossi, a quiet 9th place. Colton Herta, a not-so-quiet 10th. Simon Pagenaud, you'll hear from him later in this video, came from 24th position to 11th. Marcus Ericsson, a quiet 12th. Takuma Sato, again, just kind of out of nowhere. Now there he is, 13th. We didn't talk about him all day. You didn't hear about him all day, but he got there. Joseph Newgarden, 14th, kind of got screwed on strategy with the yellow of Callum Ilott. Christian Lundgaard in 15th. Felix Rosenqvist is another driver you'll hear from later on in 16th. Devlin DeFrancesco in 17th. Jack Harvey in 18th. He looked strong early on, but ultimately didn't get the results. Connor Daly in 19th. David Malukas in 20th. Helio Castroneves was another battering ram today. At one point he got a penalty for giving the chrome horn to Jimmy the Juggernaut. Kyle Kirkwood, a disappointing 22nd, but he was the best finishing of the Foyt cars. Dalton Kellett had a little bit of an issue. I saw him briefly on pit road walking back. He was nursing his shoulder, but he said he was okay. Certainly, Indy cars have never been accused of being a not very physical task. Jimmy Johnson in 24th had an eventful day for a 24th place finish. Callum Ilott actually didn't finish last despite losing 2 laps after spinning into the gravel trap, causing the only full course yellow of the day. And Tatiana Calderon finishes in 26th position. So, like I promised, we got a couple of driver interviews today, but I think everybody kind of caught on to the whole beef thing at Long Beach, and boy, oh boy, the drivers were busy after this race. More busy than they were at Long Beach, which I couldn't believe, but that's probably a good thing. When people want to talk to the drivers, that means they're in demand, and that means people care about what they say. Here's 2 drivers. Listen to what they say.
Well, yeah, the qualifying didn't represent the team performance. We got a red flag and couldn't really put a lap down at the end. We did struggle with some speed all weekend, but we managed to get it back for the race. I made a lot of good moves at the start. I had a lot of fun. And then the team, kudos to Mike Shank, the entire team at MSR for an amazing strategy, quite frankly, that worked really well. We were able to fight, save a lot of fuel, and save the tires as well, while still being aggressive. So worked out really well in the end. I'm so satisfied. More so by everybody's performance on the team. As you can see, it's really gelling. 11th is not obviously what we want in the end. We want to be P1, but it's only race 4 for us, and you have to be patient about who you're competing against and reasonable with results. So overall, I think it was a great day at the office. We recovered well.
We were limited by fuel, so in the first stint we had some miscalculations, so we came in early, but we actually had a bunch of fuel in the car, and that basically just cost us for the rest of the race, having to fuel save a lot. I thought we had a really good stint on the reds in the beginning, so that looked really promising. We had good pace, we're right there, and then everything kind of spiraled after that with the early stop, and I just didn't really think we had good pace on the middle stint on the blacks. Yeah, disappointing. I'm happy for Pato and the 5 car that they got the win. Yeah, have to see. I mean, not optimal with the fuel thing, but also don't think we really had the pace on the blacks, so a lot of things to analyze.
All right, so that is the Honda Indy Grand Prix of Alabama, won by Pato O'Ward. I don't think we really thought about that. They had struggled a little bit throughout the year, but it looks like Pato, especially, he said it in the press conference himself, at the end of Long Beach with that great finish he had there, things clicked again. And a clicking Pato going into in what is really the most important month of the season, not only for IndyCar as a series, but when you think about the championship, Indianapolis doubling that up and continuing that momentum throughout the season. Pato has been fast at the Indianapolis 500 before. I don't know. Could this be the momentum swing he needs to win that race? I don't know. We'll have to see. I love Alabama. It is a great state. We went to the Bluegrass Barbecue last night. That was just fantastic. I just wanted to give them a shout out because holy crap, that was great. However, it is May, and this is my channel. We need to be in Indianapolis, and we will be in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to all these people that you're about to see for making this video possible, and we'll see you in the next video.